A Good American is a journey into the inner workings of the NSA on behalf of the story of Bill Binney, who used to be one of the top traffic analysts, or the top traffic analyst in recent NSA history, and the former technical director of NSA. So basically the highest ranking technical position at NSA in the 1990s. And in terms of story, there are multiple story layers, but the main story is the development of a program that would have prevented 9/11 without, and that was able to basically really find terrorists as they were planning attacks without invading everybody's privacy. This is the way how I would describe the story. And this program was killed by the NSA management 3 weeks before 9/11. And then after 9/11, actually a sort of cover-up starts. Well, how actually would you describe the film?
Well, no, that's pretty much the way I would do it, except I would say it had the capacity to stop all of the terrorist attacks, not just 9/11, but yes, all of them after 9/11, before 9/11, 9/11, all of them, because it did a focused professional job. Actually, I have, but it's been in print, and in print media, not in a very short segment in 60 Minutes program in the United States, but never in a movie. And my experience at the time, which is one of the reasons why I quickly jumped on what Fritz had offered, was to do a film, was that the media I was using in print and so on was not getting through. The understanding wasn't being conveyed by print media. So I thought, a film is an artistic form that people understand on a much wider scale. I mean, and it's a different media to go at to try to explain what's happening. And so that's why I jumped on it immediately. And Fritz did a great job, I thought, doing it. So I was happy, And hopefully it'll help explain things to people on a wider scale, so that they can begin, I guess, to understand a little bit better what's really being done to them.
That's the thing. I mean, that's the beauty of film, and that's the beauty of filmmaking. That you're really dealing with emotions. It's not just an intellectual journey, which I think it also is, but it's an emotional journey. It's a journey of learning. It's a journey of experiencing things. And in this film particularly, you are basically really in Bill Binney's shoes as he learns how something works, and then he has the next situation and he experiences it another time and learns something new. And along that way, you are going with that in an emotional way, and this is what makes cinema. The story had already been told, and the story had already been researched by the Pentagon in a report that has been kept secret. But basically the entire truth is in that report by the Pentagon. And if somebody wants to do something against us, he is basically going against that report and that truth that is really there. And I met somebody, and you too, you met him earlier, but I met somebody last year in May in Washington who had read the entire report, also all those parts that were blanked out, and he said to me that this was the most important story of the past decade, because all this house of cards of surveillance will crumble and fall once this report is being released. And of course we are now working to release the report. I mean, not we, but political groups that we are working with.
And all of this is not just the US, it's all of them. They say, well, we need more data, and we need more people, and we need more money. And then another attack happens. Oh, we need more money, we need more people, we need more data. When in fact the data is the problem. They've already got all the data necessary to stop these people, but they aren't focused on it. So when you don't focus and you don't have a disciplined professional job going on, you can't stop anything. So by doing what they're doing, we, the public, tax-paying public, have the opportunity and the right to pay for it all, first of all, by our taxes. And then occasionally some of us have to die to keep this situation going. So we can get more money, pay more money, and get more data and actually achieve nothing except give central governments the power of control over the entire population.
And if you think about it, you had all these attacks. You had 9/11, you had Madrid, you had London, you had Boston, you had Paris, you had Brussels. No single time has anybody from the intelligence services been kicked out of his jobs. You know, it would happen in any position in government. It would happen in any enterprise, in any company. If somebody screws up so badly, he's going to lose his job. It has never happened. The one thing that has happened all the time, and that's a pattern, is they got more money each time. So basically, they're profiting from the death of innocent people, knowingly.
And the point is very simple. If you used a little common sense, if you're consistently failing year after year, over and over again, anywhere in the world, you should stop and say, we must be doing something wrong.
So basically, anybody can sign the petitions when they are out. You know, the petition to the European Parliament to set up an official commission looking into alternatives to mass surveillance to fix it. In the US, sign the petition to release the documents, this Department of Defense Inspector General report on Threat, and then push for reform. Don't vote for politicians who say mass surveillance is just fine. Don't vote for them.
Yeah.
Don't vote for them.
And tell
At
them
no
you're not
level,
going to.
not in your community, not in your city, not in your county, not in your region, and not in your country, and not on the European level. Don't vote them.
I always say that democracy is not a spectator sport. You have to participate. If you don't, you'll lose it. And so what you have to do is stand up and speak out. Just just the fact that you do that, that's more power than you realize you have. I mean, because that influences people in positions of power, because that means you're not going to vote for them. You're going to vote them out and work against them to get them fired because they're criminals, you know? So that's the whole point. By doing that, you have more power than you realize you have.